Well, you learn everything in your life, and then what are you going to do with it? I like to pass it along. I'm the captain. I run an educational program with junior high to college level students on board this vessel, the Harvey Gamage. We do everything from marine biology, coastal ecology, navigation, seamanship.
There's two themes really: how to run an old working schooner and how to help maintain the oceans for the future. The people who made this program, Ocean Passages, reached out to a bunch of schools in the Maine area. I checked it out and it looked fun, so I'm here.
It starts off with the wake-up call. That's at 7:15. So we normally go around, we do boat checks, which means we check the villages, see if there's water coming in. We check the fire extinguishers, see if they're usable.
We're split into watches, A, B, and C. The average watch each person has is about 4 hours long. But when we're anchored at night, you split up your group, so you only have to stay up for 2 hours. Every morning, we do a deck wash, which requires spraying down the whole deck, cleaning it, making it shipshape. Your watch team will go and clean all the heads, which are the bathrooms on the boat, and you have to scrub down the walls, the floor, the toilet bowl. You have to mop, sweep.
They'll come on board and they've never scrubbed a toilet before. They've never mopped a floor before. Some of them may come on board dragging their feet because someone is forcing them to go. Their mother said it would be a good experience. Some came because it might look good on the resume. And they all leave with a sense of community.
It's not just one person doing one thing. It's if you're hauling on a line, there's probably 3 other people behind you also hauling on that line. And if there isn't, someone's on standby to help you no matter what. It just builds a lot of camaraderie, and you kind of understand yourself in terms of the bigger picture on this ship.
I think for a lot of the students, it's just an experience where they're able to find themselves and develop their sense of self away from their family and their friend group in an environment that's just completely different.
So currently on this program, we've been to Stonington, Rockland, Hurricane Island, just venturing around, understanding the aquaculture on these locations.
On Hurricane Island, we learned about scallops, and we put them in a bucket after they had caught them, and we're farming them and growing them, and we picked them up, and they would move around, and they squirt us occasionally.
Scallops are pretty fun. They squirt at people. You can point them wherever you want, and they'll squirt the person you're pointing at.
Well, it's sort of like...
It's a little unpredictable, but...
Yeah, sometimes it squirts back at you.
There's a lot of history on Hurricane Island, as we got to see when we walked around. We could see all the flywheel, all of the old equipment they used, all the artifacts they found. And then we got to hike. We got to hike around the mountain. We went to the top. We could see the old quarry that was filled with fresh water. That was pretty neat.
Hurricane Island is a place that really does inspire action and inspires curiosity. When you set foot on this place, you feel the power of the history that's been here. You are in touch with what is happening in the environment around you. I mean, right now we can sit here and listen to the waves lapping up on the shore because it's a really high tide and it's kind of coming up over the pier. Like I said before, it just puts everything in your face.
Then we came back to the boat after, and we all hopped in and went swimming in the frigid waters of Maine.
I like the community, boats are my family.
We have to get along. There would be nothing as miserable as being trapped in 100 feet of space for weeks, months, years at a time with people that you can't stand. So everyone tries their best to get along with everybody else. And that includes, if it's somebody that you just don't like in the beginning, actively searching for something in them that you like and then building a relationship on that.
Everyone needs to have the same attitude, which is, sort of putting the ship before themselves and their shipmates before themselves. And if everybody is working and endeavoring towards that, then it's going to create an environment where everybody feels safe with each other, and it creates a closeness that you wouldn't otherwise have in a lot of other circumstances.
The teamwork makes the dream work. You can't run an old big boat like this with many lines and lifts without everyone. And if you have good personal connections with everyone, it just makes the whole environment a lot more friendly and more fun. It makes the experience more enjoyable.
The dynamic of the boat when we all started, everyone was a little awkward. We didn't really talk to each other all that much, and now everyone is super comfortable with each other. There's no awkwardness left at all.
Doing a river trip up the river, scouting out some of the oyster farms, and then we're going to go do the Alewife step ladder that goes up to the Damariscotta Lake into the Great Salt Bay.
Everyone we meet, all the farmers, all the scientists, they all have their own very unique personality. And no two people we've met have been very similar. Like, everybody's their own person. They all got their own interesting backstories. So it's just neat to learn about people and their jobs here on the coast.
These are our main two that we sell to restaurants, the cocktail and the select. I've heard we're having something of an oyster renaissance right now in the country. There's farms opening up all over the place. There's been one that just opened up across the river, just a little 3-man operation. So the market's increasing. We're putting in 2 million more seed than we did last year, and then we might increase that again, and we're looking for more leases on the river to expand our organization. So it's looking up. It's looking good for the oyster biz. As the fish come up the Damariscotta River, they sense the fresh water coming down from the lake, and that's what draws them up in here. So there's a lot more water in the springtime, both fresh water and also the tide happens to be very low right now. So, but in the springtime, when the fish are coming in, they usually come in on the high tide.
So we're going to have an event in South Bristol where the ship was made in 1973 by Harvey Gamage. We'll have live music and we'll be providing tours for people to stop by, and the students will be able to engage with them and kind of teach them what they've been learning on the ship and give them a little history as well, because Captain's been briefing them on that a bit.
The Harvey Gamage has returned to the shipyard where she was built for a special event, including a band called the Rusty Hinges playing traditional sea shanties, and also a presentation of the shipyard and the boat builder himself, Harvey Gamage, by the South Bristol Historical Society.
I know everyone in this town really was excited to come and see the boat back. It's a good memory for the town. Everyone's been asking a lot of questions. They've been looking around. Everyone's really friendly. It's just a really great time.
The Harvey Gamage was built here and launched in 1973. My grandfather was Harvey Gamage. And this was a playground area almost for me as a kid, not when the shipyard was open, but after hours. We used to run and hide and seek and all kinds of things. We'd even go swimming once in a while over here.
So I grew up in South Bristol where the Harvey Gamage was built, and I grew up right on the water there. My family was in commercial fishing for a long period of time, and I also grew up, my grandfather had an old ready-made fishing schooner that I grew up sailing as well, and knew that I didn't want to stay in that town and just fish the rest of my life, but still had a love and passion for being around the ocean out on vessels.
The wonders you see, you come up on deck at midnight and there's the Milky Way spread before you. you come up on deck at night and you look up and you go, oh look, there goes the International Space Station overhead. You know, let's all wave to the astronauts. You see schools of golden rays, you know, schools, 1,000 golden rays. You have a whale surface next to your ship. There are the natural wonders that keep me coming back.
We had a morning watch, the sunrise watch from 4 to 8 a.m. And it was one of the first days on board, and it was the first real experience that got to share with my watch and really see them experience the things that I love about the water, such as sailing into a harbor with the mountains around you during sunrise with whales and dolphins and all these other amazing things surrounding you. And sharing that experience with the students is definitely an amazing thing.
The weather's a little foggy, it's cold, it's a little windy, can't see very far.
We're lucky we have radar and a chart plotter, but you have to pay attention. For small boats that may not have those things, they might get in your way or you might get in their way. So you just have to really listen, you have to listen really hard for signals, things like that.
We've been sailing for like overnight the past few nights just to get done in Portland in time. This is the final 4 or 5 hours of it.
They're coming away with a sense of self-confidence that they may not have had before, sort of realizing that things that they thought might be impossible really are within their ability to do.
I'm really gonna miss everybody. They were all really awesome through the whole trip. I'm really excited to go home and watch pirate movies and see what I know.
They learn to rely on each other, and I think in that they open up to people in general outside of this community.